It's exciting,
is safe,
affordable,
secure,
economically viable,
and world-changing.
At Shell, we put an awful lot of effort in understanding how the future may unfold, and we're well known for the scenarios we write. Those scenarios tell us this is a world that's going to need much more energy and much less CO2. And it drives us to look at those combinations of more energy and less CO2. Part of that solution set is carbon capture and storage. It's a project to prevent the CO2 emissions from going up into the atmosphere by putting them in the subsurface, in the geosphere.
Carbon capture and storage is really important because it enables us to keep on using fossil fuels, but not to suffer the adverse consequences of emitting the carbon dioxide into the atmosphere, so we can have the benefits without so much of the penalties.
There is no debate that greenhouse gases as CO2 are getting this planet hotter, and there is an increased energy demand in the whole world, and we are going to keep on burning fossil fuels. So CCS is part of the answer, together with renewables and more efficiency.
For me, CCS is absolutely critical. We want more renewable sources of energy, we want to improve energy efficiency, but if we're serious about reducing our carbon emissions, then we have to look at CCS.
CCS is an absolutely critical component of Scotland meeting its emissions reductions targets. From 1990 levels, the targets to 2020 are a 42% reduction, and to 2050 it's an 80% reduction. When you're looking at going as far out as 2050 and meeting that 80% reduction target, CCS is absolutely critical because you have to decarbonise the coal and gas-fired power stations.
The Peterhead Carbon Capture and Storage project is in a really unique sweet spot. Let me start with technology. We have an existing gas-fired power plant that we can begin with. 100 kilometres offshore is a depleted gas field, and this is a gas field that once held natural gas where we can now put the CO2. So a lot of the existing facilities are there.
Aberdeenshire Council is keen to push on with the work that it does to support the energy and indeed the carbon capture and storage industry. We have a high, strong reputation and very much a can-do culture, and that is world renowned and something that we would wish to enhance and maintain. It's very important therefore that we have the right things in place to support the people that would come and live and work here, so schooling, roads infrastructure, transport and indeed leisure all need to be as high a quality as they can be to keep people here working hard but also enjoying their life outside of work in this high quality part of North East Scotland.
We have the offshore expertise, we have this knowledge, and we have also this research community here in Scotland working together with the private and the public sector.
We have a lot of legacy infrastructure in Scotland from the oil and gas industry that can potentially be reused. This gives the option of reducing the cost of scaling up a CCS industry.
We have a very diverse and successful offshore industry to do that offshore pipelining and injection. We have a very adaptable power industry who is prepared to experiment with fitting carbon capture onto their power stations, and the UK's created one of the best market systems in the world to incentivise and pay for CCS and embed that as part of the energy system.
If you look at Peterhead as a town, it's the #1 whitefish port in the UK with a value of some £200 million per annum for its catch and therefore has generations that go back through that traditional industry. To be able to now, alongside that, place carbon capture and storage, as we're saying, as that world-leading technology, innovation, research and development is just fantastic to match those two together for Peterhead and for Aberdeenshire.
Today we've been running a workshop at Bowden Primary School which is all about energy, climate change and carbon capture and storage. So to explain carbon capture and storage to children, I've really found the best way, as with any complex science, is active learning. It's really getting these kids engaged, hands-on experiments, working to capture the carbon dioxide themselves, transport it themselves, and then look at how they can safely store it. And we challenge them with experiments to work it through and think like scientists. These really are the ambassadors for our future. These are the people that CCS is going to make a difference to. So lowering carbon emissions, all of this stuff around energy efficiency, all of that has been in the education work that we've been doing today. And I think it's fundamental for the deployment and development of CCS.
If I look 50 or 60 years into the future, what I'd like to see is that carbon capture and storage is absolutely normal business.
It is the route to the lowest cost decarbonisation, a route we need to find as we go forward.
CCS will be an integral part of our energy mix.
It will be a recognised and supported technology.
CCS will be very important part reducing the CO2 emissions to the atmosphere.
I've now been in the energy business for 30 years. And I've had the chance to travel the world and see the development that comes when you have access to energy. But at the same time, I do see the pressures we're putting on the planet. And here, I and the team have this opportunity to deliver more energy with less CO2, to put these two pieces, energy and environment, together. As far as work goes, it just doesn't get any better than this.